Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sports Deep Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Rogers Harrison. I'm being co-hosted today by Mr. Brian Koparik. Brian, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Rogers. How are you?
I'm doing well. Here we are in the second season of this podcast. I want to thank everyone for supporting us throughout the first season, and we were able to secure a second season. So thank you very much. Today, we're going to talk about the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes, known as the CHLM.
CHLM.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's talk about it. The Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes was a groundbreaking all-black men's ice hockey league that operated in Canada's Maritime provinces from 1895 to the 1930s. The league was the first and only of its kind in Canada and served as a vital institution for African Canadian communities during a time of widespread racism and segregation.
Not a wonderful time in our history.
No. So the CHLM was founded in 1895 in Halifax, Nova Scotia, by a group of African Canadian Baptist community leaders and intellectuals. So the founders included Pastor James Borden, James A.R. Kinney, and James Robinson Johnston. A lot of James.
A lot of Jameses. Yeah.
They initially created the league to attract young black men to Sunday church services with the promise of a hockey game afterward.
I mean, clever marketing at its finest.
Right, and this is 1895. So
right. I mean, I like it.
Now the league's mission soon expanded, however, to foster a sense of pride within the black community and to challenge the racist myths about black people's physical and intellectual abilities in sports.
Yeah.
So, at the time, many people, particularly within the white community, held racist beliefs that black people were physically and intellectually unsuited for the game of hockey.
Right.
They believed that black athletes couldn't handle the cold, had weak ankles for skating, lacked the intelligence to play an organized sport.
All misconceptions.
Yep, and the CHLM's mission was to actively debunk these myths by showcasing the talent and the skill of its players.
Correct. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, beyond challenging the racism, the league served as a vital institution for internal community building. So, in a society that was largely segregated, the CHLM provided a space for black men to come together, compete, and build a sense of collective identity and pride.
Well, and if you think about it too, like there probably wasn't a whole lot of because of the segregation and all the things, not as much stuff, entertainment. So talk about the community coming together. They were able probably to come together to watch these games and all of that. So it's pretty amazing.
And the crowds for these games was multiracial. So it just wasn't the black community coming out and supporting the league. It was
super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even better.
But it wasn't. You could say yes, it was multiracial, but it wasn't
accepted. Probably
it wasn't a good mix.
Right. Right.
Still, maybe 95% black and 5% white type of thing. So they did have some discrimination, limited access to indoor rinks, poor ice times. It's like, the only time I have available for you to skate would be Friday at 3 a.m. or stuff like that.
Right.
Even though, despite those, it still was very highly competitive. It attracted large multiracial crowds, as I said, earned press coverage.
Nice.
And it had a fast-paced, innovative style of play. Many of the league's players were the sons and grandsons of American slaves who had escaped to Canada. Now, the CHLM is credited with pioneering several significant innovations that are now commonplace in the NHL or hockey.
Right.
All right. First of all, was the slap shot.
Okay.
Now, the slap shot. Let me tell you about the splash shot, and then I'll tell you about how it came about. Now, so the wind up. So a player raises their stick high, often to the shoulder height, to generate momentum. The slap, the player brings the stick down forcibly, slapping the ice a few inches behind the puck. And then the flex. The contact with the ice causes the stick to bend or flex like a spring, and this stores a tremendous amount of energy in the stick shaft. Energy transfer as the stick continues its motion and makes contact with the puck. The stored energy is released, propelling the puck forward with incredible speed. The player also rolls their wrist and transfers their body weight from their back leg to the front leg to add to the power.
Yep.
And then the follow through. The player follows through with the stick, pointing it toward the target to guide the puck's direction.
And so a little bit about that, because I don't know if you know this, Rogers, but I played hockey for a number of years.
I did not know.
And I had a pretty mean slap shot. And I first learned to play with I had a wooden shafted stick. And the flex on those things can be ridiculous. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
But then later on, I was actually sponsored by Easton for a bit, and I was playing with a composite shaft and aluminum shaft, two different styles. And I was really worried about the flex on those particular style shafts. But no, they will flex as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Whatever happened to your hockey career?
I grew up and had responsibilities and kind of got out of it. But
so now you're just a co-host of a sports.
Now I'm just yeah. But anyways, for a time I was a pretty decent roller and ice hockey player.
I did not know that. Well, all right. So Eddie Martin of the Halifax Eurekas is credited for inventing the slap shot in 1906.
Wow.
So the slap shot has been around since 1906.
I never even thought about it because my whole life it's been a huge part of the game. Right? So that's pretty cool trivia or history of the game. 1906.
Yeah. And the key advantage is that raw power or the storing of the energy, because you can have a puck flying at a speed like of 100 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
Shea Weber, formerly of the Predators, now retired, he could shoot a slap shot at over somewhere upwards of 110.
Right.
And he actually put two different pucks in his career all the way through the net.
Wow.
Off of slap shots.
Now, the disadvantage, as you know, is the time it takes to set this shot up.
Yes.
Because, the fast pace.
It's not as quick.
Of
right.
Hockey.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, hold on, defenders. I'm going to set this shot up.
And the accuracy is not as good as a wrister or some other shots. Just because of the long sweep of the stick and everything. There's guys who are extremely accurate with it, don't get me wrong, but the accuracy does take a bit of a hit as well.
Another innovative that they are credited with inventing is the butterfly goaltending style.
Really?
Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
All right. All right. So the league was the first to allow goaltenders to leave their feet to cover the puck, and practice not adopted by other leagues until much later. The butterfly is a goaltending technique in which a goalie drops to their knees and extends their leg pads outward to block the lower portion of the net.
Yeah.
The name comes from the way the pads and hands resemble a butterfly's wings.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
And now there's no goaltender out there that doesn't play that way. So,
yeah.
I mean, and some of them pretty amazingly, because a lot of goaltenders today in the NHL are 6'6", 6'7", and they can butterfly.
Yeah.
And, when you're watching on TV or you're watching high up in the stands, you don't realize how big they are. But when you get down low, you're like, this is pretty incredible that they can do that.
Now, there's not one particular player that's credited with that, but just the
But that was the league as a whole allowed it, and they let it go. Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
That's really neat.
So, like I said, the league disbanded in the 1930s.
Yep.
But the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes, the CHLM, still had a lasting impact on the sport of hockey, as we mentioned, with those two things.
Yeah.
And also the fight for racial equality in Canada. Its players and leaders used the league as a platform for social change. They defined racial stereotypes and demonstrating the remarkable talent and skill of black athletes. So, but unfortunately, the league did come to an end because of continued racism and economic hardships. So yes, they moved the needle as far as racism in Canada, but they didn't solve it, or they didn't totally put an end to it. But it's still, the league is a great example of how sports can be used for social progress, and a testament to the resilience and determination of the Canadian community. In 2020, the Canada Post issued a commemorative stamp to honor the CHLM and its contribution to Canadian history. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty neat.
That is neat.
In 2025, the CHLM had its 130-year anniversary of its founding and was acknowledged during the Ottawa Senators Black History Month celebration game, and that was this past February.
That's cool.
There was a game honoring the CHL's anniversary played at the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, which featured volunteer players representing the Halifax Eureka's and the Dartmouth Jubilees, the two squads who played in the league's inaugural game in 1895.
Okay. That's really cool.
So that's nice to see that, for its 130th anniversary, that it was still being honored and not forgotten about.
Right. Well, and I thought I had read that there was a documentary done as well called Black Ice about it. Let me look and see what year that was. In 2022.
All right, 2022. They had a documentary.
Yeah.
Who showed that?
There was a book written by Daryl Fosty called Black Ice, and then Hubert Davis did the 2022 film documentary. So if this topic really interests you or piqued your interest, that'd be a good way for you to maybe go and learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this comes to an end of this episode of the Sports Deep Dive podcast. I hope you learned something a little. Hockey season
is upon us,
and so we thought we'd take a look at the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great to learn a little bit more about the heritage of even the NHL, because there are African descendant players within the NHL, some really good ones, and which I think is great to see. And they've it's neat to know that history of the things that they contributed to the league.
Before we go, just want to remind everybody that this podcast is commercial free, and we have quick episodes, some lasting shorter than 20 or 30 minutes. That way you can listen, and as you take your commute or you're getting ready for work, and then you can take on your day. And for Mr. Brian Kaparick, this is Rogers Harrison, and I just want to say so long, everyone.